Tonight on SportsDesk, Canes baseball is dominating on the diamond. Our Inside Pitch crew is here to talk Miami's 5-game win streak.
Plus, Miami's Magic March came to an end last Sunday. Our Hurricane Hangtime crew will wrap up the Canes season.
And one Canes swimmer has battled a long way back to the pool. We'll tell you all about the journey of the Finnish swimmer, Aino Otava.
All that and more.
SportsDesk starts right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching SportsDesk.
Hello and welcome to SportsDesk. I'm Wyatt Kopelman.
And I'm Cal Freeman. Wyatt, the men's historic run in March Madness came to an end against Kansas, but how about the baseball team? Winners of 5 in a row, going for 6 tonight against Duke.
Very much could be 6, Cal. The Canes very much looking to keep it alive this weekend against Duke. The team is off to their best 24-game start since 2016 and is back on the road for their ACC matchup this weekend in North Carolina. Canes baseball went into the second game of its weekend series against 13th-ranked North Carolina with a chance to take the series win. Let's go over to Mark Lightfield for the highlights. Starting off in the bottom of the 7th inning, Canes and Tar Heels in Game 2. Miami trailing 3-2, but not for long as Edgardo Villegas lines one into left field, the Puerto Rico native. He'll stop at first. The Canes starting to put on some momentum here. Then later on, Yo-Yo Morales putting this one right into center field. Canes getting going in the 7th inning. That was an RBI single, tying up the ballgame. CJ Kafis scoring. Then Vanderbilt transfer Maxwell Merrill Jr. Looks like it could be a home run. North Carolina Tar Heel outfielder is back. Takes a bounce off the wall, make it 5-3 in favor of the Hurricanes. His only hit of the night as Villegas scores. The Hurricanes really rolling on that 2 RBI double for Morales. Later on in the 7th, just a few pitches later, how about Jacob Burke taking a breaking ball, putting it out into left field. Jacob Burke also his only hit on the night at the right time for the Hurricanes as they continue to pounce in the 7th. Tar Heels absolutely clueless. Then how about later in the 8th? Yo-Yo Morales takes a pitch in the dirt, skips away from the catcher, Thomas Frick. Runner goes in, sliding and diving is CJ Kafis. He's fired up. The Canes are fired up. Canes continue to pounce. That would give them a big win over North Carolina, 7-3 in Game 2.
Hurricanes baseball caught fire to close out the month. UM swept North Carolina and took care of FGCU on Wednesday. But what do the Canes need to do to stay hot? Our Inside Pitch team is live in studio with more. Guys.
Hello and welcome to Inside Pitch. I'm your host, Regina Potenza, here with analyst Emberk Isles. So starting off, the Canes have won 5 games in a row to win streak. What a fantastic week they've been having, defeating Clemson, North Carolina, both in the ACC and both nationally ranked teams. What players have stepped up to secure these recent victories?
Yeah, well, like you said, Miami's been playing really well so far, but one player has really stood out, and that is freshman Edgardo Villegas. He has been fantastic so far in this win streak for Miami, getting on base, getting RBIs, and also walking and getting a lot of chances for Miami to get him in. But here's the other thing that is great for Miami. They've been getting contributions from everybody, whether it's CJ Kafis or Yoandy Morales. They've been getting timely hitting from a lot of players on this team, and Miami is looking very, very good so far in this win streak, and they're going to look to continue that this weekend.
And the Canes have won seven of their last 8 games. What adjustments have the Canes made, and how has this allowed them to go on a win streak?
Yeah, well, Miami's just been so much better and so much more consistent at the plate, and also been getting contributions from Carson Ligon, who we're going to touch on in just a minute in the rotation. It's been more consistent. You've seen better pitching. You've seen better hitting. It has just been an all-around great performance by Miami. They've been able to out-hit opponents, out-pitch opponents, and one key thing that they've been able to do is get wins against quality opponents, and if you're Miami, that's something you're going to have to do in the ACC, which is filled with a plethora of quality opponents.
And Carson Ligon, he is one of the best opponent averages on the team and ERAs. With 3 wins, 1 loss, what makes him such a standout pitcher?
Yeah, well, Carson Ligon has been absolutely spectacular this season. Let's take a look at what makes him so good. Carson Ligon is just able to locate the pitches. Look at that, right on the inside corner, as the North Carolina player cannot believe that that's a strikeout, but a great pitch there by Ligon. We're going to take another look at another pitch similar to that, as he's just able to locate it. The Carolina player not able to pull the trigger. Great pitch there by him, and also getting getting players to chase. Ligon has been a surprise for this Miami team as he wasn't even in the rotation to start the season. Been great to see him succeed so far.
So Miami is playing Duke this weekend, but they are struggling. Duke just lost to Liberty University. What's your series prediction?
Yeah, well, Duke under 500 so far this season in the in overall, and also in the ACC 3-6. Miami's going to look to go up and sweep Duke, I think, this weekend in Durham, North Carolina.
Well, thank you so much, Embrick. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Regina. Thank you, Embrick. On Wednesday, 11 Canes football players got their chance to shine at Miami's 2022 Pro Day. Scouts from over 15 NFL teams, national media, and some former Canes were even at the indoor practice facility for the event. In the long jump, 225-pound bench press, shuttles, 3-cone drills, and the 40-yard dash. Receiver Mike Harley ran the fastest 40 time at 4.46. Lineman Jonathan Ford had a team-best 24 reps on the bench press. And finally, quarterback De'Aaron King with wide receiver Charleston Rambo each showed off their talents following the drills. The NFL Draft is expected to take place later this month on the 28th, going through to April 30th.
Coming up on Sports Desk, Coach L and the men's hoops team had the most successful season in Canes basketball history, but will now say goodbye to some key members of the squad. Our Hurricane Hangtime crew is here to tell us more. Plus, Ashley Rome will sit down with one freshman star who's doing big things on the court. We'll be right back.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miami's NCAA tournament run came to an end in the Elite Eight, while women's basketball has already started off its offseason. Let's go to Charlie, Ethan, and Max for this week's edition of Hurricane Hangtime.
Welcome back to Hurricane Hangtime. I'm your host, Charlie Hill, alongside analysts Ethan Gainey and Max Keller. Guys, we went from March Madness to March Sadness. We were all in the rat watching the games last weekend together, but it's just time to move on. So Ethan, what can you tell us about the Miami Hurricanes basketball team next season?
Yeah, so the lineup Coach L is going to be putting on the court is going to look a lot different than this season. That's because he's losing his six-year seniors in Sam Wardenberg, Charlie Moore, and Cameron McGusty. He's also likely to lose sophomore Isaiah Wong to the draft. So that'll leave him with Wooga Poplar, Bensley Joseph, Anthony Walker returning, and Jordan Miller. And these guys are the regulars who will be returning, but knowing Coach Larrañaga, he'll likely bring in a couple transfers as well, and he has his recruits, and he's just going to hope to replicate that success he had this season with a new lineup next season.
Right, so looking at the coaching staff, and we already know that Coach L did sign a contract extending his, but Chris Caputo, one of our coaches, is actually going to George Washington University to be their head coach. How was that going to look for the Miami Hurricanes?
Yeah, so I think that this is a big loss for the Hurricanes. I think Chris Caputo is an unsung hero. He loves the team. He's great in the locker room. I've gotten the chance to interview him before. He loves working for Coach L, been doing it for the past 2 decades. Plus, he was a guy I thought could take over for Coach L once Coach Larrañaga retired, but that's obviously not going to happen now. And I really see Coach Caputo doing great things with that George Washington program.
I do as well, but Max, looking at the women's team, we already talked a little bit last week about the end to their March Madness run, but what can you tell us about who's staying and who's getting out the door?
Yeah, Charlie, Kelsey Marshall is going to be out for the Miami Hurricanes. She was the best offensive player the Canes team had this season. She was a record-breaking player for the program. They're also losing Destiny Harden, who had a huge ACC tournament run. They will be returning Lola Pendande alongside star freshman Jalea Williams. So some shuffling to do for Coach Meyer.
So looking at recruits, I mean, I know you've been paying a lot of attention to that on social media. What can you tell me?
Yeah, Charlie, the Canes are sitting with a top 15 recruiting class right now, bringing in 2 top 30 players in Z. Spearman and alongside Kyla Oldeker, 2 athletic big players who will fit Katie Meyer's style of play.
Well, I'm so sad I have to wait till next season to sit with you guys in the Watsco Center again, but that's all the time we have today. Sending it back to you guys.
One basketball freshman stepped up in the second half of the year and is already focusing on a big sophomore season. Ashley Rome got the chance to catch up with Jasmine Roberts on this week's edition of Athlete of the Week.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. I'm here with Jasmine Roberts. Jasmine, what has it been like playing for Katie Meyer on the UM basketball team?
It's definitely been quite the experience. She's a great leader, like a great coach, an awesome person to be around, and she always motivates us to be great. So I really enjoyed playing for her my first year.
What does she do to motivate you guys?
She's a great speaker. She'll give us really good speeches before games, before practices, during practices. She just always is the type of person to put confidence in you and build you up and never tear you down. And I feel like that's really important.
What are you looking forward to most about the future of your basketball career?
I'm looking forward to most just now that I've spent my freshman year learning, I'm looking forward to just getting out there more. And I want to win a championship. I want to win an ACC title with my team. So I feel like now that this year that we made it there, I think that it set the bar, and that the following years to come, especially with the class we have, that we can win it eventually.
And then what do you think you've improved on most this season?
Definitely my shooting ability, especially because in high school I didn't shoot very deep range. I didn't have to because it's high school, but getting to college, my shot improved a lot. I've become a threat at the three-point line consistently.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today for this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. Thank you for joining me today, Jasmine.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Playing tennis at the Miami Open puts a spotlight on those who step on the big court. And more than plenty of fans get the entertainment they dream of. Reporter Ashley Rome tells us more on what those fans enjoyed this year.
Miami is home to many famous sporting events, but perhaps one of the most famous is the Miami Open. With an estimated attendance of 5,000 spectators from across the globe, it's easy to see why this is a can't-miss event.
I've met people from other countries and states, and even where I live in Atlanta, Georgia, I've seen some people. I met a lady that plays tennis, and she's 95 years old.
I really enjoyed it, and this is the first time I've been to a live event, tennis event, and it was really worth my trip. I really have fun doing it, so it was great.
It's awesome, and I'm waiting for Kitsmanovic, Serbian guy, to win tonight.
While some came and enjoyed all of the food there was to offer,
I actually got the chicken sandwich with cheese, and it was great.
Chicken nuggets with the fries and the ice cream from Oakberry.
others came within reach of their dreams.
Naomi hit one of the balls into the audience, and I was this close, but I just missed it.
She touched it, and
she got a video of it.
She has been trying to get a ball the entire tournament.
Whether you're visiting the tournament for just one match or the whole day, you will certainly be entertained. Held at Hard Rock Stadium, the tournament runs from March 21st until April 3rd this year. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ashley Rome.
Up next on Sports Desk, one historic law started 50 years ago that has changed the NCAA. We'll highlight all the importance of Title IX across collegiate athletics. Don't go anywhere. But first, it's time for some trivia. Canes baseball is on fire, winning each of their first 3 series of ACC play and are tied for first in the Coastal. But when was the last time Miami won the Coastal Division? Is it A, 2014, B, 2016, D, 2019, or D, 2020? The answer when we return.
Can't high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and
I am totally a hat person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Guys, I'm looking forward to this weekend. How about you?
I'm really looking forward to this weekend, Michael. Canes baseball, but a lot of other stuff to enjoy here in the 305. Should be very relaxing.
I was excited for tonight. Ray Stremmerd on campus. It's going to be a great concert. Welcome back. If you guessed B, you are correct. The Canes finished 2016 with an ACC record of 19-6 and an overall record of 40-9. That year marked the third consecutive ACC Coastal Division title under former head coach Jim Morris. Miami in the NFL, Pitbull in Miami. It was just another week in 305. Plus a hero's welcome for Canes Hoops after their first ever Elite Eight trip. Niles Nassim is here to update you on this week's edition of Behind the Post.
Oh man, I feel good, like you know I should, and I wish you could be in studio today because the vibes are immaculate. And everyone and their grandma knows what time it is. It's time for the most electrifying segment on TV with me, Niles Nassim, your host with the most. So when you see me on screen, you know what time it is. We got to go behind the post. What a magical season. The magical, improbable, and downright phenomenal run for the Canes is over. Last Sunday, the Canes will lose to Kansas in the Elite Eight. From never being ranked to beating top-tier opponents, this season has been filled with so many incredible moments. And for that, we have to say, well done, gentlemen. Thank you, Coach L, for coaching such incredible young men, and thank you to the team for reminding us why it's great to be a Miami Hurricane. Now, shout out to both the men's and women's tennis team for lighting it up on the court. The women took care of business against number 10 Duke with the score of 4-3, and the men would get the dub against Florida State 4-0. These teams look to keep swinging as they take on Boston College and Columbia respectively, and those matches are actually taking place right now. Now, it's already obvious that our football squad possesses some of the best talent in the country, so you know we have to show it off. This week, the team hosted a pro day here on campus, and it did not disappoint. We had a whole host of spectacular prospects on display, including players like De'Ara King, Charleston Rambo, and Bubba Bogey. Make sure to keep an eye out for these gentlemen on draft night because I got a good feeling about their chances. And campus was alive because we got a visit from Mr. 305. Thank you to What Matters to You for putting on something that was dynamite, and you did it so right. It was such a phenomenal event at the Wasco Center, and we're so grateful to have it. But hey, that's all the time I have for today. As always, you know what to do. Be blessed. Don't stress, because you know where to find me right here on SportsDesk. I'm Niles Nassim.
For many in Miami, swimming at the U is a dream come true. I had a chance to hear from Aino Otava on her transition from the ice rink to the pool. Junior swimmer Aino Otava has stepped up to lead Miami this season after a hip injury that slowed her success in the water for 10 months.
Great, I feel like every dual meet that we had, we did was just really good, and the energy was very high. Mid-season meet here in Miami, and in that meet I broke the 400 IM school record, so that was pretty sweet.
But as she now sets school records in the pool, even Aino hasn't avoided obstacles.
Very fortunate to not have a surgery, so that was very nice. The doctors really couldn't figure out what was going, so I was just doing too much at times.
Aino's swim journey has come a long way since arriving in Coral Gables. So long that she first made the switch from ice to water back home in Finland at hardly 7 years old.
I used to figure skate when I was younger, and then we ended up moving so far away from the rink that there was no way I could have done school and skated at the same time. My mom asked me what would I want to do, and I had said to her synchronized swimming, which is definitely not competitive swimming, and she accidentally signed me up.
Without hesitation, Aino got to work and swam her way to a Finnish championship gold medal. Now she brings her same competitive fire as her next mission is taking Miami back to NCAAs.
She came in as a very determined freshman, which is like, I think a lot of freshmen have the tendency to kind of like shy away when they're coming in their first year. But she was like, no, like I'm here to like take names and I'm going to do this. This year was like just a breakout year for her in so many regards.
You know, certainly with our team, there's a lot of pressure. A lot of it's internal. Nerves can lead to a lot of great things. It can be adrenaline, it can be excitement, it can get you going. It can also bring a lot of stress, and the stress can be a detriment. So the big thing is making sure that you're not afraid of nerves.
Ino is now prepared to return to the water for her 5th year next fall, where she and her team will have a chance to continue building on recent success at ACCs. For UMTV, I'm Wyatt Kopelman.
This year celebrates the 50th anniversary of Title IX, a huge step forward for women's athletics in the NCAA. But what exactly does this mark signify? Reporter Morgan Champy has more.
50 years ago, one of the most influential laws in women's sports history was passed, Title IX. The 1972 federal law protects against sex and gender-based discrimination in educational programs that receive funding from the government. This opened the door for women to play sports in school at the same level as men, where they couldn't do so before.
As far as how things were back then, it was still, women's sports were still just getting to be big because Title IX just made such a huge difference, giving scholarships to women, promoting women's athletics in high schools and in colleges.
In terms of scholarships, the law made an impact almost immediately. Just 7 months after the passing of Title IX, the first woman in the U.S. was awarded an athletic scholarship. Terry Williams Munn signed her scholarship from the University of Miami on May 7, 1973, to play on the school's golf team. Since then, thousands of women have followed in her footsteps, including second-year freshman Sarah Byrne.
It's definitely helped equal the opportunities, which I think I'm definitely reaping the benefits of it. Like I'm here, D1 scholarship, to Miami, so without that I probably wouldn't be here.
However, both Byrne and Kaufman believe there's still more work to be done.
Being able to recognize that Title IX has benefited all of us women in sport. I think it's so good to recognize the benefits, but also just to help say, okay, now it has helped us, but let's keep helping it.
I think everyone needs to know that it wasn't always that way, and celebrate the women that we do have now playing sports, but also remember why they're there and why these opportunities exist.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Morgan Champy.
Still ahead on SportsDesk, a former football player is still lacing up his cleats, but instead on the rugby field. We'll tell you more about the journey of Yoon-Sub Kim after this. Don't go away.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
One Miami freshman grew up with dreams of playing football, but with no club football at the U, Yoon-Sub Kim decided to pick up rugby. And right after his first practice, his teammates knew he was a natural. Reporter Regina Potenza has the story.
With no club football on the University of Miami campus, many high school athletes are making the switch to rugby, which has rules that are similar to those of football.
My high school never had a team, so I never actually played myself. So when I came out here, I thought it was something like football, but it was completely new. So I was like I could keep up with them like performance-wise, but like knowledge-wise, I was like rock bottom, like blank zero.
Yoon Sub Kim played football his entire life before attending the University of Miami, but it wasn't hard for him to switch to rugby.
First play, I seen Yoon make a tackle, blew my mind. Knocked the guy flat off his feet, and from there I was sold. I was like, yeah, he's playing, he's staying, whatever he needs.
Although Kim was new to the sport, his athletic background helped him to secure a spot in the starting lineup as a freshman.
Yoon's explosiveness, you can tell he came from a football background or a powerlifting background. That's what I need from players now. You don't usually come across players like that with his physical capabilities.
Club rugby has been at UM since 1969, and they're tackling their sport like never before. It was not until spring 2022 that rugby officially became a club sport. In August 2021, only 8 players were a part of rugby. Now, there are over 50 undergraduates on the team, and Kim has taken it upon himself to support his teammates in any way he can. Kim has developed a workout plan for the team, as well as personalized food plans to get players into shape.
He's probably the most outgoing, kindest person that I've met here, honestly. I really love playing with him. He's very competitive, too.
Throughout the process of rebuilding the team post-COVID-19, the players are eager to encourage and support one another, both on and off the pitch. And for Yoon, the team has meant everything.
So everyone helped me out, all the players, all the coaches, they all helped me out to like become where I am now. And like every day I'm learning new things, and everyone's like bringing each other up to become the best.
For UMTV, I'm Regina Potenza.
Canes baseball are looking to make it 6 wins in a row tonight against Duke, and Miami has been tested in these last 5 games, but especially on Sunday against North Carolina. One freshman got his first RBI, and it was one he will never forget. Let's take a look on this week's edition of Play of the Day. Bottom of the 14th, Renzo Gonzalez with a base hit back up the middle to give the Hurricanes their first walk-off win of the season. 3-2 winners over North Carolina, and he gets to celebrate that first RBI in style, getting mobbed in the outfield as the Hurricanes secure the sweep against UNC. Take a look at it again, just drills it back up the middle. Gonzalez finished today 3 for 5 with that first RBI. The Mark Light Magic back after 4 hours and 20 minutes, and that is your Play of the Day.
There was a lot for Canes Hoops fans to enjoy last weekend, and plenty of fans traveled to United Center in Chicago for Miami's trip to the Elite Eight. But some fans decided to stay in sunny South Florida. Let's get a closer look. While the Canes were in Chicago, students packed into the Rathskeller to watch the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 matchups. The event was organized by Category 5 and Dr. Pat Whiteley, providing students with free food and drinks. Their turnout was incredible. They called the United Center the Madhouse of Madison, but some students brought the energy from the Watt to the Rat. With Sebastian in the Windy City, some of our sports deskers provided some school spirit. But the party didn't end there. Hours after the final horn, hundreds of students piled in front of the Watt to welcome the Canes back to Coral Gables. Players interacted with the fans, took photos and videos, and even got involved with some of the chants. With the amount of smiling faces from students, you wouldn't have known about the results. It was a great end for an awesome season for men's hoops at the U.
And it wasn't just Canes Hoops that were celebrating their accomplishments this weekend. On Saturday, the 2021 SportsDesk crew was having a big night of their own. 2021 grads and current UMTV members got together to watch the 41st Annual College Television Awards, which is like the Emmys for college students. NewsVision and SportsDesk were both up for a CTA in the news and sports categories. This was the 3rd time each show was nominated and would become the 3rd straight year that SportsDesk would take home the award. It was a huge night for the SportsDesk family and a perfect way for recent graduates like Gianna Sanchez to cap off their collegiate careers.
Thank you so much to the Television Academy Foundation. We can't thank you enough. Especially thank you to my co-executive producer, Daniel, my second producer, Jenna, and our faculty advisor, Ed Jewelry, and especially our cast and crew who were the reason this show came to life. We couldn't have done any of it without you.
Well, hats off to us out here at the studio, but hats off to our seniors. We wouldn't be here without you.
That's all the time we have for this week's edition of SportsDesk. Very nice to have you along.
We'll be back here same time next week, same time, same place.
Have a great night.